Welcome to Las Vegas, a city famous for entertainment, high-stakes gambling, and boxing matches. We are at the $200 million Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and this afternoon at the penultimate round of the American Le Mans Series, we expect the city's theme of fun, risks, and fights to continue. And there's the Audi freight train again. Alan McNish beside Frank Biela, Audi 1-2 in the front row. Move back to the second row. Jan Magnuson will join with David Brabham with the Panos. Beside him will be JJ Leto. Then in row 3, O'Connell and Cato. Beside him, Mimo Scattarella and De Radiguez.
But of course, the Vipers and the Corvettes, the big story in GTS. The Viper on the pole, they're 11th overall. And of course, the big story in GT is the fight between the Porsches and the BMWs. And the Porsche is the quickest, 18th overall.
Oh, look at the green flag, and immediately the number 1 Panos tries to take the lead from McNish, and he does squeeze down to the inside.
And I cannot believe the green flag even came out. That was the most disorganized start. There is the BMW of Leto. He is forced off the racetrack at that first chicane. Very, very tight down there.
I didn't think you could lead when you come across the start-finish line until you get the green flag, but the Panos clearly... We're going to have another look at that later on, but the Panos car, the number 1 Panos car, slices past the Audi. We're in trouble here.
This is on board the number 43 car. That was the Olive Garden Lola. And there's a car off the racetrack. That is one of the Panos cars. I think it's number 2, Johnny O'Connell. Yes, it is. So that is Johnny O'Connell in the number 2 Panos.
But look at the lead that Magnuson had this early in the race to pull out that much of a lead. These boys at Panos believed they should have won at Laguna Seca until they had engine troubles. Well, now they have a golden opportunity here, but I really want to see a replay of that start. Now, the 2 Audis can control the field here.
And you can see pretty much as soon as the pace car ducks out.
Now, what's the start-finish line? Who leads across the start-finish line?
Well, there's no question, it's Magnuson. And that technically should be a jump start.
I think it is. Have a look at this here. In just a few short laps, Alan McNish is all over the back of Jan Magnuson in the Panos. They are in traffic already.
Well, he was, look at that, almost contact with the Audi. Remember that Audi at Laguna got spun, and that was one of the penalties. Gunan in the BMW took McNish off the racetrack, and McNish actually spun, hit the wall, went on to win the race. That car just incredibly tough.
The Olive Garden car is in the middle of this bunch here. That is Johnny O'Connell right ahead.
We're on board with the number 43 BMW. This car sits 6th right now, about 6.8 seconds out of the lead, but there's a real group of prototypes here. You see up at the front of this line is the 42 BMW, then the Olive Garden. Yeah, they're forcing their way through, Derek, and the Olive Garden car, and of course Johnny O'Connell right in front. And these guys, they can't afford, if one car goes through, the rest of them have to go through or else they'll lose touch.
We have a flat tire, I believe, on one of the Panos cars. Is it O'Connell? That may be why we saw so much tire smoke from Johnny O'Connell. So Johnny O'Connell limps the Panos. After only 8 laps, he is forced to make a pit stop.
And this is down into turn 5, the braking zone. You can see the Lola on the inside, of course, not up alongside. That is certainly not a completed pass. He gets locked up, and there's the contact right there on the left rear of O'Connell's car. That cuts the tire down and, of course, does the body damage to the Lola.
Now, something else that happened 1 lap earlier. This is the Conrad car.
And that is the number 6 PTG BMW.
Okay, boys, we had a lead change and then we had contact. Magnuson would not let McNish away from it, and he just whacked the back of it.
And you can see McNish goes down to the inside. That's not normally where he would be, but then goes back to the outside, which is his normal braking line. And Magnuson leaves the braking too late. A little bit of a tap. It looks like no damage on the Audi. And here's the other angle. This is the angle from turn 1. There's the tap right there. McNish with the opposite lock immediately, but just can't save it.
But I believe we are going to have... Yes, Magnuson is in the pit lane.
Well, he's bringing it in at the 45-mile-an-hour speed. Looks like it should be a stop and go. Yes, it is. There's obviously a penalty for the contact with McNish, and Jan Magnuson stays behind the wheel. He's back down pit lane.
Well, there's obviously been contact back here, too, with the number 23 car. Randy Popes is behind the wheel. Oh! Into the grandstand.
This is the battle. 1, 2, and 3 for GT. These 3 cars all together, of course, the 2 Dick Barber cars and the Alex Joe car. And there goes the bodywork. Now, the problem is that may
It hasn't slowed him down.
No, it's great for him. It may necessitate the need for a full course yellow because that bodywork now is laying out in the middle of the racetrack.
We are under full course yellow because we had to go out and pick up the debris left behind from Randy Pope's car. But Magnuson, we mentioned earlier as we went for break, caught a break here. Remember, he just got the stop and go penalty. He was a long way back, so now it at least gets back some of that track time or track space.
There is the number 91 Viper. They are leading in GTS. Ron Fellows in the number 3 Corvette has never been more than 2 or 3 seconds behind this Viper. So the battle continues. Olivier Beretta is on board that car. The battle continues here between the Vipers and the Corvettes.
Meanwhile, the GT boys have all gone to the pit lane. Calvin?
Like a NASCAR event, Derek, once the leader came in, everyone came in from the GT category, taking advantage. They're about 30 minutes in. Some damage to the number 5 machine, as you can see.
Here is the 23 car. This is the Alex Job car that, and you can see these guys are doing some serious work. Calvin, you down there?
Well, there's some damage to the rear end, but the bigger problem is internally with the gearbox, Jeremy. It's stuck in gear. They had that problem at the Petit. It's reoccurred, and these guys are in the thick of the championship battle. Randy Popes is really in with a shot of the championship, but right now it's not looking good for him as the team goes to work.
And that is J.J. Leto now, who chases down Alan McNish down this front straight into this hairpin, or chicane.
And on board the 78 car, this car was down as far as 8th. Remember, it started outside of the front row, dropped as low as 8th position, now back up into 3rd, and of course the 2 Audis with the BMW in the middle. And the BMWs this year have not been as quick as the Audis. They've stayed in the thick of the points championship with good, well-run races, good strategy, but they have never been as quick as these Audis. And that was one of the Corvettes off the road. That was 2nd place. I believe that's Ron Fellows. Down into turn 5, he goes up the inside. That's for the lead in GTS, but he gets locked up, and it's the old pass repass, and the 2 Vipers there together.
Yeah.
And hopefully Ron Fellows hasn't done any damage to the under tray on that car going through that little gravel trap there. I'm not even sure why that gravel trap is there, but
we got Shane Lewis in trouble. Shane Lewis in the Aspen Knowles car. I don't know whether this team could have any more bad luck. Bob Mazzucola put this team together. Just had a stop and go here, Jeremy, the number 5 car.
So the 5 cars come in, serve their stop and go. So as I said earlier, the officials now definitely asserting themselves here. They've stopped the 5 car. They stopped Magnuson.
And Jeremy, what that has now done is elevated the number 51 car, the sister Dick Barber car to this, to the lead of the GT Championship, or the GT class. And Magnuson is on a charge here. He does not like to stay behind cars that he's a little bit faster than. Down the inside, Magnuson thought he had the run. He came down the inside. He is quicker. He is quicker down this back straight, or front straight. What about the brake zone? He got in trouble before. Oh, he slides across his nose.
What a beautiful pass there by Jan Magnuson. There is Magnuson. There's the Audi. So yes, Jan Magnuson, in fact, has gone around the number 78 Audi.
He is on a tear here now. He's going to run down J.J. Leto in the leading BMW, the number 42 car. Spinning down the chicane, another one. This is the Nighthawk Racing. Mel Hawkins started this car. Stephen Knight runs with him. Nighthawk Racing. This is one of the smaller 675 cars.
Well, Derek, what we've found this year is that the Panos has a very small window where their car seems to work on the Michelin tires. They like track temperatures of about 70 to 80 degrees. And when they saw the cooler conditions today, there were some smiles on the crew faces, and certainly Magnuson's on a charge right now as he attempts to take the position from Leto going into 1.
Oh, big risk in the brake zone. Can he make it through? Just about makes it through before he clips the curbs and goes with the lawnmower.
What a great move by Magnuson. Of course, they split the Corvette. Leto goes left, Magnuson goes right, and then he thrusts down to the inside and makes the move incredibly assertive. Now watch, he goes high because he doesn't know exactly where the Corvette's going to go. He doesn't want to get caught between the banking and the apron, but then he says, hey, if I'm going to make this move, I need to go to the inside. And he's probably quite aware that Leto doesn't know exactly where he is. What a move.
Look at this. He waves. He waves to him. Go down the inside. He said, this is not a straight fight. I'm quite happy to let you move away. Absolutely. What a smart move, Jeremy, by Alan McNish.
Well, I think that's a big picture issue. I think that Alan McNish knows Jan Magnuson is not in this championship. He's obviously in a very aggressive mood today. and has already had McNish off the road once. McNish, of course, thinking championship and not thinking just about one race win. But I'm still very surprised that he didn't really challenge him at all.
And then Magnuson comes in. You know what? I wouldn't mind betting Alan McNish knew that Magnuson was on his way to the pit lane. So the leading Payne is the fastest car on the racetrack at the moment, not the fastest car overall. That is still McNish, but Magnuson brings it in. Dorsey?
Oh, he is indeed, Derek, and he's sitting in the car. There will be no driver's change. They're putting the fuel in right now, and they can't touch the car until that is done.
Now, J.J. Leto was in third place when he came in. His teammate, Gunan, got himself in all sorts of trouble here.
Well, I think at that point he's trying to decide, am I going to go for this car or am I not going to go for this car? And I think he tried to bail out a little bit late, and you're right, Derek. He got either a little bit of rear brake lockup or he downshift a little bit early, and that kind of unloads and locks the rears, and that's why that car spun.
We're down here in the McNish pit, and we expect what you normally see is when the driver stays in, they will not change tires, just in case the driver change goes bad. That's normally when they do the driver change. We come around at the rear end of the Audi. Look at that rear diffuser. Quite a bit of damage there over to the left corner, but it's really in good shape.
And McNish has stalled. McNish has stalled in the pit lane, trying to get it refired. He's got it refired now.
This is a drag race down the front straight.
Well, Derek, it's not even going to be close because McNish has a very long run down the pit lane.
Yes. Left of your screen, there is Magnuson in the Panos, and Alan McNish is not at the end of the pit lane yet. That stall cost him dearly. The number 91 car is in. He is second in the GTS category, Calvin.
Well, it's actually the 92 car, Derek, driven by Tommy Archer. He jumps out. David Donahue, the two Americans working well together. They took the lead after the last batch of pit stops with the vets and the 91 machine. So this car is certainly stretching their mileage a little bit better, and that can work to their favor if we get some caution period towards the end of this one.
There is Jan Magnuson. He overcame a stop-and-go penalty. He has overcome damage to the front. He is the fastest car on the racetrack. So McNish is not able to keep pace with Magnuson. He slowly pulls away about 2 or 3 tenths of a second per lap.
And all of a sudden that car is there.
He missed him completely, missed the turn in because the Nighthawk turned in. He just didn't anticipate how slow that 675P car was running.
And McNish now has picked up probably 2 to 2.5 seconds.
But Magnuson can no longer fend off the challenge here from Alan McNish.
And that is the number 3 car. That's Andy Pilgrim. Loses the car coming out onto turn 4. That's turn 4 on the oval.
How did that happen?
Well, I think he lost it. I think he lost it because you do have to run out to the grass there, and if you drop a wheel, it's definitely possible to lose the car.
Welcome back, and there's the full course yellow, and here's a replay.
Well, we don't see what happens, but we're making an assumption here that it blew probably the right rear tire because the right rear corner of the car is pretty much torn off.
And that obviously answers the question as to what happened when we saw him spin coming onto the banking just 1 lap earlier. That right rear tire was obviously about to let go.
Well, Alan McNish jumps out. It's going to be Capello jumping in right now, and there's going to be a real battle at the end of this one. We expect David Bradman to take over the driving chores down at Panos. Well, the Audi is still struggling. Capello eventually gets it moving. He had one big stall and then stalled again momentarily and nearly gets beat out by the BMW.
Yeah, but look what happens. Look what happens. The Audi beats the Panos out of the pit lane and gains track position. Yes, we are about to go green. The leaders are completely buried in traffic. J.J. Leto is the official leader of the race. McNish is now second. Brabham is third, so BMW do lead. York Mueller is in the car.
Yes, it's the BMW, the Audi, and the Panos. And the other Audi right behind Brabham in that number 1 car. So look at these guys. Look at this.
Oh, Panos off the road.
That is Cato, and look at the 77 car. May have made contact.
We didn't get 1 lap under green, and suddenly, the rear wing's gone.
Yeah, the number 1 car got caught up in this. Remember, he was only 3 or 4 cars behind his teammate in the number 2 car.
So here's the check up here. Here's Johansson behind David Brabham on the right side.
And it's the BMW that spins Cato. That's what it was. It was the BMW that spins Cato. The Audi bails out, and you can see the contact hasn't even happened yet, I don't think, Derek. There's the tap. There's the Panos. The Panos gets spun. You see Brabham does hit the Audi, but that's not... Look at the nose on the Reynard is still okay. That all happened somewhere else. Who hits him here? There it is, right there. Look at... This is the 78 car. This is the car that sneaks through. There's the teammate right in front. Brabham is to the left. There is the Paynos spinning. See, he sneaks up the inside. He sneaks up the inside. He gets through it very cleanly.
We are back and we are on board the leader. This is Pirro. Biela started off, did a double stint. They have avoided all the incidents and all the crashes. Started off with a poor start, but look the way it shakes out now. We know Capello and Magnuson's car has damage. We know one of the BMWs is in serious trouble. Brabham Magnuson is still in the pit lane. Johansson is still in the pit lane. Our third full course yellow of the afternoon. Charlie Slater through the Conrad Lola into the wall, just coming off the last corner, sat there for quite a while. They had to send a tow truck out, got him running so he can limp back to the pit lane. 3 cautions, lap 17, debris from the Randy Post-Lambert Porsche. Lap 78, as we watch our green flag again, we had a yellow. Lap 101, the Slater crash. So the 2 Audis are, there is 3 cars on the opening lap, are on the lead lap. Gounon and Oberlin. Gounon now behind the wheel in the BMW. This will be Audi's 8th win in 11 races. The number 77 car won most of them. This is the 3rd win for the number 78. And he slows down, doesn't take a chance. Up on the banking, takes the checkered flag, waves way before he gets to the checkered flag.
It has been a great season. This team has done just an outstanding job. I think the 78 guys know they got a little bit lucky today, but certainly you're not going to win races without a little bit of luck.
And there is your full field rundown. Wallach and Masson win the GT class. 11th place overall. That gives them 10 wins in 11 races by Porsche this year. 5th win of the season for Masson and Wallach.
Great performance, Frank. Your 3rd win of the year. You need a little bit of traffic there. Pirro did a great job there trying to avoid all the carnage there on that restart.
He did a very, very good job. I mean, I was struggling a little bit after this bad start, but the car was very good and I didn't have any technical problems. So from that point of view, I was quite optimistic when he went in the car that he could catch up the others again. And fortunately, he did it. We were lucky, but a win is a win.